Our last battle in cycle 2 is the Battle of Tobruk. And again, it is in this Mediterranean region. So, last time we were in Africa, things were looking pretty good for the Allies, for Great Britain. We can see here, this is how far, remember, here's the border. Here's the border between Libya and Egypt. Remember, this is where the Italians are in Libya. This is where the British are, as well as the Australians in Egypt. Okay? Remember, the Australians, they're still training. They were still training. They're not as well prepared, just like the Italians were not very well prepared, even though they were the ones doing the invading. The British come in after reducing the Italian fleet, the Italian Navy. They come in with reinforcements. And not only do they push them out of Egypt, but they push them all the way back here, okay, and start taking over a good bit of Libya. Well, just like we saw in Greece, the Germans send reinforcements of their own. And this general here, his name is Erwin Rommel. He's one of Germany's best generals. And so Hitler sends him down to Egypt or down to Africa in Libya and saying, can you handle this situation and go take over the Suez Canal? And so Erwin Rommel, he's nicknamed the Desert Fox because, again, this is where they're fighting. They're fighting in the desert. And, of course, the fox because of how cunning and crafty he was. So down here, we see what Rommel does. And so this was the first push. The British, under a general named Wavell, he pushes them all the way back to here. Well, then Erwin Rommel shows up, and he is able to push them all the way back into Egypt. Okay, so the Italians invade and get pushed way back. The Germans show up and they regain all that lost territory. So again, the Suez is now under attack. Now, the battle we're specifically going to look at here is Tobruk. Okay, and so Rommel shows up and he starts pushing. And the Australians and the British have to retreat. Well, there was one city called Tobruk, and Tobruk was a fortress city. And so the British and the Australians, they've got Tobruk, and they think, we are going to hold Tobruk. This is in Libya. And they say, if we can hold Tobruk, we can keep them out of Egypt. Okay, big fortress city. So they have it. They've got it well secured, ready to go. And then Rommel comes and he is able to outmaneuver them and surround them. Okay. Once they're surrounded, there's no way for them to be relieved. And eventually, when you're surrounded, you're going to start running out of supplies. Things aren't going to go well for you. And so here is a picture. And these are called foxholes. We'll talk more about these later. But basically, it's a small hole in the ground that soldiers will be able to kind of hide in. To keep, like if people are shooting at them, they can duck down into it and be a little bit safer, but still pop up and fire back. And so here they are. And the Axis powers, the Germans, they would make fun of these Australians. It was mainly Australians in Tobruk, when they called them the rats of Tobruk, because they said they're all stuck in their holes like rats. And so the Australians kind of took that nickname with some pride and called themselves, yes, we are the rats of Tobruk. However, eventually, because they were surrounded, running out of supplies, they had to retreat. And so the British came in with their navy to the port here and started taking the soldiers out. And so the Germans win the city and win Libya and move back into Egypt.